y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that.
What's up, everybody? Welcome in to the 615. It's your host, Lee Hillis, and yes, we have a very special guest on the show today. A member of the Titans production team, Tyler King, is on. Tyler, how are you?
Pretty good. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it, man.
So, you were a member of the Titans production team for what, 3.5 years?
Yeah, about that. If they still need a fill in, I'll still do it. But I still have, I still talk to a lot of those guys. Like you said, you had Matt Rogers on and people like that. I still am involved a little bit, you know.
So the big question is, how did you get involved in that?
Okay, so it is. I tell everybody this. It is the weirdest, and it's honestly, I got lucky. So when I first got the job, everybody, like my family and friends, were like, "Oh, we're so proud of you. That's awesome that you got that or whatever." And the truth is, man, I was with a company. I was working in logistics, and one of the other logistics managers that worked with me, he's actually Josh Waddell is his name. He actually is the DJ. He's the one that plays the music during the game. He's the DJ for the Titans. At least the one in the booth, not the actual DJ that they now have like down on the, concourse. And he works in production for just Nissan in general and does all those Titans games. Well, it was actually an NSC soccer game, and he couldn't work one day. He calls me. He's like, "Hey, man, I know you don't have any experience, but like, can you fill in for me for TGI, like doing like the ads and stuff?" It's literally like pressing like 3 buttons. I worked one of those games, told the producer for the NSC games, which also was the producer for the Titans games. I was like, "Hey, if you need help with the Titans, just let me know." And honestly, I was just luck, man. He was like, "Actually, yeah, we do need help." And the next thing I know, was with him for 3 years. So it's like I just got lucky, man. Like I happened to run into the right people at the right time. I didn't do anything special. I don't have any schooling in production or anything.
And it's all about who you know nowadays.
I tell everybody that it really is what it is. Like I just got lucky. Like I said, like family, friends were like, "We're so proud of you. Like this is awesome. This is great." Like they acted like it was like this huge deal, and I was like, "Guys, I didn't do anything. I was just friendly to somebody." But yeah.
But after this last season,
yeah,
we part ways with Mike Vrabel, hire Brian Callahan, completely rehaul the staff.
I mean, gosh, the entire team. The entire organization. Like, what are like?
Derek's not here. Danico's not here.
We're not going to see the same Titans team this year.
No.
The Titans team we see this year. It'll be
Evolution.
The first. I mean, to the nth degree, literally. I mean,
like, don't be surprised if the Titans throw it 40, 50 times a game. Don't be surprised.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think we'll go split back a lot with Pollard and
Spears.
Yeah, I really do think we'll.
And I feel like between Callie and Carthon, we're building a model like San Francisco and Cincinnati.
Absolutely. And, I'm really not mad about it, to be honest. I've heard, and then you've got the Levis part of it too. I've heard people like trying to certain people compare Levis and Mariota to their, and that stuff. But here's my thing with that. We all have to remember Mariota had 4 different offensive coordinator. He had a different offensive coordinator every single year. So hopefully Levis can keep the same, you know what I mean? And also in his games, if you look at his stats, I think it was it 8 touchdowns, 9 interceptions? Maybe I'm wrong.
Altogether last season in 9 games?
Yeah.
It was 8-4.
8-4. Oh, even okay. So even
4 of those touchdowns came against Atlanta.
Yeah, and I don't know. I am a believer in Levis, and I think if we can get, I mean, you look at our roster, man. I mean, it's
a completely different roster.
I mean, he can. I mean, our style of play is going to be completely different.
No more run, pass.
Yeah, and what I'm going to love is, honestly, every single play, there's no like up third down. Hey, there goes Henry, and then we're going to bring it. You can keep Pollard and Spears out there 1 through 3. That's why when people are like, "Who's your running back number 1?" I'm like,
it's a 1A, 1B.
It's a 1A, 1B. It doesn't matter. Like, we don't have like a quote unquote like feature starting back. Like, we have 2 that
are good
playmakers.
And Callahan said this when he was hired: "There's no more wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3.
Oh no,
they're going to put the best receivers out there, and I think we have 3 of the best.
Well,
DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley, and Tyler Boyd.
Well, it's like I was talking about like a week ago or something. Like Tyreek Hill, even he's like arguably might be the best receiver in the game, or he's a top 3 at least. He like literally tweeted, he was like, that Titans receiving core is sick, like it's insane. And I really find it hard to believe that all the power rankings have us as low as they do, because with our roster, and we'll get into the defense in a second, but with our roster, man, I mean, if we stay healthy, the sky's the limit, man, to be honest.
And of course, you said you listened to the pod from last week.
Yes. That's why I brought up the Mariota thing. Yeah.
One thing that we mentioned was the expectation. And I feel like the expectation for this team right now is to win and win now.
It's so true, man. It's kind of like when you remember when the Rams went to the Super Bowl and they just like you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like hey, we're selling the house. Like we're selling the house. Let's go. Like, and we're gonna throw it all in. Yeah. So I mean, and I honestly do wish that we would have signed Boyd to more than a 1-year deal, but I understand like salary cap and everything. I mean, I think Boyd is going to be a very good for us.
And I feel like this is one of those kind of like prove it deals, because I think he's coming off injury. I think
you're right, actually.
I think this year is a 1-year prove it deal.
Yeah.
And if he can come in and show out, they may extend him next year.
That's what I'm kind of thinking, man. I mean, if let's see, he got injured in week 15. Sorry, I know I'm like shouldn't be on my phone right now, but yeah, he it looks like he had an MCL sprain or something in week 15 last year, I think.
Yeah. So I feel like, as I was saying, this is a 1-year deal, just to say, hey, prove it. Prove that you're as good as you were before your injury.
Yeah.
And of course, you add another stout receiver in Calvin Ridley to a 4-year deal. And both him and Boyd will be 30 before the end of the season.
Yeah, I really hate how, but then again, like people Do you remember all of like the BS that we got about the Hopkins thing about like this
Yeah.
washed up thing?
And
He was at that.
and
He
he
killed it.
came out and put up 1,000+ yards last year.
So I mean, but yeah, I get the age thing, but I think that's kind of like you said. It's a win. Like we need to win now.
And I feel like with Levis, we can.
I have all the faith in Levis. I mean, you know, and like I've been telling people, as long and he's gonna mature. I'm looking at Levis and I love, and like I said, I love how he just slings it deep because I mean
He's got the arm talent.
the Titans, like, let's be honest, like when they would throw it deep, like the past 4 years, it was like, oh, thank God. Honestly, if it was incomplete, I didn't even care. I was just like glad that it went deep.
Glad to see us taking shots.
Exactly.
Because
but here's the difference,
the
though.
Giants had not done that the last couple of years before Levis.
No, and I hated all the little bitty plays. Like, well, first of all, you know,
5 yards here, 3 yards there. And Derrick Henry getting slammed at the line of scrimmage.
Well, you know, when we had what's his name, the offensive coordinator, the one that you know was like a DUI guy, or what? Yeah, no, seriously though, that's actually great. I haven't heard that one before. But yeah, when that, like, I don't understand, like, it would be like we were like throwing these weird screens and just at weird times.
There was a hashtag that started with Downing here, and it was ditch the pitch.
No, seriously. I mean, if you think about it, to be honest, like when he was there, and actually I do know this was a stat, we were like 80% more of a chance to win if Derrick had 100 yards. If Derrick didn't have a good game, we didn't win. Like,
and you felt like late in his tenure in Tennessee, it became more
predictable,
more likely, basically, that if he didn't hit that 100, Tennessee wasn't winning. And we're lucky we got wins last year where he didn't hit 100 yards.
Yeah, because he didn't have 100 when we won that Miami game, I don't think.
No.
And I'll tell you, and I've spoke about this too.
But it was the defense. It was the defense that stepped up.
I know. Man, that defense. I mean, I feel bad for our defense the past couple of years because they've had to basically just try to carry this offense.
But now they won't, because the offense is going to do their job.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, what rookie are you most excited for?
All on either side.
Yeah, or yeah, sure.
It's hard to just pick one. I'm gonna go my top 3. Latham. Can he excel? Can he excel at left tackle when he hasn't played right tackle in 3 or 4 years?
That's a big question mark. And, you know, I actually heard, and like I was listening
but he looks good. He looks good in OTAs and rookie minicamp.
He does. And even though, you know, everybody has their opinions, you know, I'm sure I don't know if you do, but I'm sure you listen to Bussin' with the Boys.
I did.
Or you have. Okay.
I haven't recently.
Well, I've heard, and even I was hearing, Mike Keefe's partner, Coach Mack, talk on the radio. Yeah. And he did say, you know, because, like, I mean, his mind is great for football. And he was explaining, he goes, the only thing that he was concerned about is it is such a different ball game on that left tackle spot. So I'm with you 100%. Like, can he transition? Now, but with Callahan's dad, apparently.
Well, he did it. He did it with Jedrick Wills in Cleveland.
True. Yeah. And apparently
Jedrick Wills was predominantly a right tackle at Bama.
Yeah.
Came to the NFL, started left tackle, transitioned very well.
Yeah. And they said this Callahan offense, I mean, his dad is like, they say that he is just like an offensive line, like, guru. They say he is like God's gift to earth. So I'm hoping, you know.
And then number 2, I had this guy as my number 2 defensive lineman, Devondre Sweat.
What is, I don't understand. Are you with me in the fact that I don't understand why people had issues with that? There was a lot of people that had issues with that pick.
Tyler Rowland. Dude, he was like, this is a terrible pick.
Oh, yeah. Got me.
Man, I wish I had this loaded in. So I was on a draft show night 1. When we picked J.C. Latham, the host lost his ever-loving mind. Actually, I may show it right here. I may show it, and I'm gonna load it. I'm gonna send it to myself.
Yeah.
And load it in. But well, he did the same thing when we drafted Monty Rice 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But this roster, as we were saying, it's a completely different roster now.
I mean, it's a completely different team. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Yeah, it's I mean, I'm excited, but I think there's a lot of question marks. I'm just hoping that we can make it all work. And I do have a lot of belief in Callahan, man. I really do.
And number 3, I'm gonna stay defense. Cedric Gray.
That right there, man, I'll be honest with you, that's actually my number 1.
Because he's coming from I don't want to say not a good school, but not a great school either.
Yeah.
But they've produced NFL talent.
Yeah. I mean, but if you look at his stuff, man, I mean, he's that green dot guy.
And I think that's exactly what Coach Mack said.
Yeah, he's a 3-year starter for North Carolina. I mean, he's the quarterback. He was the quarterback for that defense.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would say that's definitely he's up there for me. As far as like off of the draft pick talk, but onto the also, and I keep, it's like, because of our wide receiver core, people forget the cornerbacks we have too now.
Jarvis Brownlee from Louisville.
Yeah, and I think and there was somebody, I thought
Williams, James Williams, safety from Miami, who they transitioned to linebacker.
When I heard that,
the dude's 6'5".
I was looking up his stuff and I was like, he's a what? He's a safety?
Like, he's a safety.
It looks like Keith Bullock back there.
Exactly. So
nuts, man.
The show that I was on, I've got the clip. And of course, I went and screen recorded this. This is from when we drafted J.C. Latham.
Okay.
I can't. I'm hoping it's Roma Doomsday.
Oh, Alabama. Oh, JC.
Damn it, I hate this pick. I hate this pick. Man, what the hell are you doing?
He lost it.
I'm like, that reaction was I was like, wow. I mean, what?
Like, he wanted to go wide receiver.
If we didn't have Boyd, I would have. I mean, I think we're good there, man. I mean, and let's not forget, I like NWI, man. NWI,
I think, makes this roster. And as we were talking before, Kyle Phillips, that dude's a question mark right now.
I don't even to shoot you straight. I don't even think it's a question mark. I think he's gone.
Because if you look, we drafted Jaquan Jackson out of Tulane.
Yeah,
and with the new kickoff rule, where teams don't move until the ball's caught.
I mean,
that dude has speed and the potential to take it the distance.
Looking at his highlights in Tulane, every ball that he caught, he's behind the defense every time. Like, it's like,
Exactly.
I mean,
Like, I think he could eventually carve out a rotational position in that wide receiving core eventually.
I'll be honest with you, as far and you know, Phillips had he had a lot of like punt return, fumbling issues, but when we forget when he was a rookie and coming out, he was like very highly like touted. He had a great first game.
He was very green.
He was very green, but he was like a mini Wes Welker almost against the Giants. And not like serious, like he really had like potential. My issue with him is we don't have enough sample size with him, and he is your classic example of. I even look at it as like a Jake Locker situation, to where like when Jake Locker played, it was like he had all this potential, but he couldn't stay healthy. I mean, honestly, the first year that Phillips played for us after that first game, I couldn't even really tell you what his injury really was. Everybody kept saying, well, he's hurt, but he's just too small. So it's like none of us even, and then it was like hip, knee. It was like he can't have like 45 different injuries. Like, so at some point, like, you're too injury prone, man.
You got to look at like the people who are lower down. Trayshawn Harrison from last year's draft. Curious Jackson.
He had some speed
Georgia.
too.
Mason Kinsey, who we talked about there for a little bit.
I'm telling you, I'm telling you right now. I don't care if he's not active every week. That's one of my favorite Titans, man. He's always cool.
I think Mason, if he does make Colorado roll, yes, it'll be special teams, but this dude can catch also. Go back to, I want to say it was his first preseason against Atlanta.
Yep.
That dude carved up Atlanta.
I was actually on my first game 3 years ago when I worked for them. We played the Bears. I think it may have been Fields' like rookie year, Justin Fields' rookie year. He did really well in that Bears game, and I was literally on the sideline the entire game. And the thing that impresses me about him is he is not afraid of contact, and he will catch a ball. He will catch a slant.
He will hold somebody.
And he will also he'll catch a ball across the middle, get laid out, and just pop right back up. And he is not as scared to get hit. And I mean, that's huge, you know.
And don't be surprised if he turns into Andrew Luck. Every time he gets hit, he's like, good hit.
Yeah, and I actually think when it comes to, we were talking about the receiving core, I think as far as we're going to finally, which I know you are, and most Titans fans, I'm just so excited to see all these different formations that we've never seen the Titans get in.
Yeah,
because I guarantee you
you'll see more of a Cincinnati style.
We're gonna bunch up Ridley, Boyd, and Hopkins. We're gonna bunch a side up. There's gonna be different routes to confuse the defense, and what I really like. I'm glad we signed Boyd because he knows Callahan.
And so he knows this offense.
So he knows he can help even though Hopkins is obviously the elite out of everybody, but like he can even let them know like, hey, this is what works or this doesn't work. So there's also like signing him was one of the best signings we had.
Yeah. And so basically, so we don't have our buy-in. Like we have our buy early in the year in week 5.
I don't like that. I wish
you play 4 games, have your buy, and then you play 13 straight.
Well,
I would like to have had the buy around week 10.
Yeah, I would say between 8 and 10. I personally,
but we do have one primetime game. No short weeks this year too.
Oh, but you know what's crazy though, and you talked about it last week. Can we just for like 1 minute, Why do the Jets have 75 primetime games? Because you talked
That's
about
what
it.
it feels like.
You talked
They've
about it
got
last
6.
week, dude.
They got 6. Why do the defending Super Bowl champs have one less than a team that didn't even make the playoffs last year? Kansas City has 5. The Jets have 6.
That makes no sense to me. Like,
And the Texans have 5. But they did win the division. So
I
When the
know we
Titans
all.
when the Titans were winning the division, we were having 4 or 5 a year.
Yeah, and which I will be honest with you, and I can't tell you, maybe this is just a superstition thing. I am not a fan of those 3:15 games, and I'm very glad that
We only have one this year, and it's an LA game.
And I feel like every time we play the Chargers, that it's always at 3:15. I feel like every year
it's always that because it's like 1 o'clock out there.
Yeah. So,
but all of our games are at noon. No Thursday night games, so no short weeks this year. But we do have one Monday.
And
that's in Miami.
Man,
can we have some Miami magic, please?
I also wanted to bring up your point you made last week as well on the pod. You said, and I didn't actually realize it because normally we play the Colts. Normally it's week 3,
and we don't play until after the bye.
So
and 5 of our last 7 are division.
I don't like that.
Like you have Houston to end the year, which you always end the year in a divisional game. The first one it was Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Then it went to Jacksonville. Then it was Houston. Then it went back to Jacksonville. Now it's Houston again.
Yeah, normally it's like I feel like it's like week 15 Houston, week 16 somebody, and then the last game is Houston. I hate when we have those like
one game in between.
Yeah, that's I
what I would do if I was in charge of the NFL schedule, within the first 10 weeks, everybody would have already played 3 division games by then.
Absolutely. I agree.
And then put your last 3 in the back 8.
Yeah. Which I understand.
You always end the season with a division. Always.
I understand for entertainment purposes why they do it, because they want to do it so they can flex the schedule because of the division and the playoff implications. But I'm with you. I agree 100%.
What they did with us in Indy.
Yeah.
When we almost beat Indy because of the playoffs, but then Andrew Luck had other ideas.
I was at that game, man. In the rain.
There's one team in the division I've still not seen, and it's Jacksonville.
Oh, hey, I was at the coldest game ever played. I was at the game where
Houston.
No, the Jacksonville game. Years ago. It's the coldest game to ever be played at Nissan Stadium. The beer that we had, when you would drink it, the top rim, like if it had like leftover beer from when you took a drink, it would freeze within like 2. It was like right after New Year's. It's when they had Blake Bortles and the Jags were so good. It's when Marcus Mariota like trucked.
I remember
you remember that game.
That was a night game.
It's what got us to the playoffs.
From the year Mariota threw the touchdown pass to himself.
Yeah.
But so the way I want to end this thing is talk about expectation. And as I said, expectation is to win and win now.
Yeah.
But record expectation.
All right.
Everybody knows mine from last week. I said 13-4.
Whew. That's real optimistic.
The reason why I think we sweep Jacksonville, because in my mind Jacksonville is overrated.
I actually personally think Jacksonville is the weakest team in the division, to be honest with you.
I think you split with Indy and split with Houston.
Yeah.
You lose at Indy, lose at Houston, but you beat them in Nashville.
Yeah. So you're saying 13-4?
Yeah.
I know you want to wrap up, but before we stop, can you tell me what games you think we're going to drop?
So I think at Houston, at Indy, I would not be surprised if let me pull up the schedule. It's been a minute since I looked at it, but I know at Indy, at Houston. Where did I find it? Twitter. I wouldn't be surprised if we lose to Minnesota.
I'm looking forward to that game, actually.
And if I also would not be surprised if we lose to either Buffalo or Detroit.
Yeah.
Buffalo is a question mark right now because outside of their rookie wide receiver, who do they have at wide receiver?
Yeah.
Dawson Knox could take this game over in Buffalo.
Yeah, that's actually Florida State's actually my college team, so I'm real big. I love it. I love that receiver. Coleman. Yeah, he's the man. But yeah.
But Detroit,
you're right.
But Detroit is loaded also. Jared Goff just signed a 4-year extension.
Which that could be. I could do a whole nother podcast on that because I think that he got overpaid.
Jared Goff is like 34.
I think that was like, yeah.
Yeah, Jared Goff's like 34 years old. I'm like, why are you paying a 30-something-year-old quarterback a 4-year extension?
Yeah.
No, man, he's not even 30 yet. Wow.
Yeah. I'm thinking honestly.
He's 29.
Yeah.
So you're telling me and Jared Goff are the same age?
I'm thinking realistically, man, I would say
13's my ceiling. 9 is my floor.
Realistically, I think 9 or 10. I think I would be.
Yeah.
I think
13,
okay. Let's say I'll say 10. I'll say 10.
13's my ceiling.
Yeah.
9's my floor. So I'm saying anywhere between 9 and 13.
Yeah. 11.
I like the ceiling. But
11,
I could see us having a winning year.
Oh yeah, and 11 would be my ceiling for sure. But I'll go with 10
and slip in the back door of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Well, Vrabel did it his first year.
Yeah.
And within 2 years, he had us competing for the AFC.
Yeah, like a couple years in a row. Yeah, I mean,
I think this year, if we sneak in, nobody knows what to expect.
No, nobody can even prepare. I mean, that's why I could see us. I could see us just walloping the Bears the first game because they don't. They don't have anything to go off of unless you watch Bengals tapes and hope that that's what it is going to look like. I mean,
but Chicago rookie quarterback his regular season debut against a really good defense. You add L'Jarius Sneed, Awuzie, and you also have T'Vondre Sweat and Jeff Simmons.
Please double Jeff because then D Sweat is just yeah.
Dude, Sweat is a monster.
Hey, I was watching his highlights actually today, which is funny.
The statement that was made after round 2, between the first round and second round, the Titans added 700 plus pounds of meat, of manpower.
And they can all move.
Dude, Sweat is a physical specimen.
Yeah.
On that interior.
Oh yeah.
If you double team Jeff, you're leaving Sweat and Sebastian Day wide open.
Oh yeah.
Along with Harold Landry, Arden Key, Rashad Weaver, whoever.
Yeah. I mean, our problem has been, is I think this will be the first year in a couple years where our defense, we're not going to be first in giving up over 20-yard plays like we have been in the
The
past.
Titans they've been very suspect.
Well, yeah, because
in that
we
secondary.
would, the
Because the only
secondary.
good DB we truly had now plays for Chicago. And
Fair
he's
point.
about to get torched week 1.
But yeah, he can't cover all three.
And that secondary is not that good.
No, actually, it's not. Yeah. So
Because I expect our defense to be designed like Baltimore.
yeah, that's
Because everybody knows our new defensive coordinator is the former secondary coach.
yeah.
And you saw what that secondary did to Kansas City in the AFC Championship.
I think it is so good that he was the secondary, like, because that is kind of like I said, that was
And
the
then-
thing that's we've been suspect with.
Then you have Chris Harris, the secondary coach, which he was there last year. The secondary
Yeah.
was still not the best. But
Well,
you won't see any more 7-10 yards off the ball anymore. That drove me up the wall last year.
And I feel like it's been like that. Like, and I've said this before with these past Titans teams, honest to God, I felt better when it was 3rd and 2 than I did when it was like 3rd and 13 because of that exact reason.
Because if it was like 3rd and 2, they were staying at 2 to 3 yards.
Well, we played that bend not break, for so long, but
Exactly. But then when you got like 3rd and 13, 3rd and 15, you were playing 7 to 10 yards off. And by the time you backpedaled to 10, they were already at 15.
And if a player catches it 10 yards out, by the time you tackle him and he falls forward, that's a first down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I feel like adding Denard Wilson as your defensive coordinator, best decision that's ever been made.
I agree. I can agree with that.
And I hope we bring like that 2000s Ravens style defense.
God, that defense was terrifying back then.
And
God,
if that happens, nobody is stopping this team.
I remember that year. That we went 13-3 the first year the Titans were here. We played the Ravens and they like dumped us like 20-3. And that's when we were like went to the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah.
Like during the regular season. Yeah.
There was a statement that was made on Bussin' with the Boys. And it was a request to Callahan. Bring back the OG pain train.
Right. Working in it, obviously, literally when that, like, are you talking about like the video?
Yes.
Yes.
That was played at the beginning of the fourth quarter.
I was there when that changed, and I was like, I was upset about it. You like it?
It was original. It was incredible.
No, I was mad when I want the OG one. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yes, it was probably the most terrifying thing for anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or bring back Ric Flair.
Right. Something like, let's like kick
bring
it
back
old school.
one of like the OG videos.
Exactly. Yeah. It's crazy now, man.
So the Titans fan who goes by Macho Man or Macho Titan.
Okay.
They need to get him in for a promo video.
Really?
Dude, have you seen any of his stuff?
No, I'll have to look. You said Macho Man Titan?
Oh,
I haven't.
I'll find something to send it to you. Like, it's incredible. This dude dresses up like Macho Man. Sounds like Macho Man.
Maybe I have. Hold on. I'll just send it to me. I'll look. I may have. I'm sure I have seen him, but yeah.
But this dude is like up here.
Yeah.
But the energy he brings.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're figuring to get out of here. Again, Tyler, thanks for hopping in and doing this.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on. Like I said, anytime you need me, man, I'll be here.
And as I always say, stay classy and tight.
Tighten up. Let's get tightened up. Tightened up. I've been scoping from the sideline.